What's going on, plugins? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the players Kentucky are pursuing in the transfer portal. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new here, sub to the channel and become a part of the family. Now let's get into the video. So Coach Cal has wasted no time reaching out to players in the transfer portal. On a radio show, he was asked how he plans on balancing the transfer portal and incoming freshmen next season, and he said this: "I like the combination of both. We just got to get the right transfers. We got to use the summer a little bit different, more physicality, more time in the weight room." So it seems like his mindset for this offseason is going to be different, and for Kentucky fans, that's what they like to hear from him. I don't expect him to have a young roster like he did last season. He knows how important this offseason is. The feeling is, if he doesn't do well next season and make it out of the first round of the NCAA tournament, he could be fired. Now he knows the way college basketball is right now, he has to adjust to the times, and that means getting older players. Having a bunch of young five-star freshmen will not win championships. After the loss to Oakland, he told the media this: "We're relying on freshmen too much. In those kind of games, you better have some vets." Coach Cal has said he plans on having an older and more physical team for next season. Last year, Trey Mitchell was the only player he got from the transfer portal, but this upcoming season, I expect Kentucky to be more active and get at least 3 or 4 players. Now let's talk about the players that Coach Cal has been in contact with so far in the transfer portal. The first player is Cliff Omoruyi, a 6'11" center from Rutgers. He started over 100 games for them. Last season, he averaged 10.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, 2.9 blocks, and he shot 51.2% from the field. He's a solid big who can do a little bit of everything. Kentucky desperately needs an experienced big like him. Kentucky lacked good inside play from their bigs, rim protection, and he struggled a little rebounding the ball. Cliff is an elite rebounder, and he's durable. He has been healthy during his college career. He will give Kentucky a boost on defense, being a rim protector. Last season, he was named to the Big Ten All-Defensive Team. He had 10 games with at least 4 blocks, 3 games with at least 7 blocks, so he's an elite shot blocker. Kentucky's going to need a veteran big like him once it's time for the SEC and NCAA tournament. That's when games will get more physical and tough. Kentucky does have 2 5-star centers coming in, but Coach Cal can bring them along slowly and have Cliff start from day one. Kentucky has to get him by any means. When he was in high school, they did offer him a scholarship. They showed strong interest in him throughout his recruitment. If he didn't go to Rutgers, he was most likely going to go to Kentucky. So maybe he'll pick Kentucky because they wanted him coming out of high school, so we'll see what happens. The second player is Jalen Blackmon, who's a 6'3" guard. He was ranked 10th in the nation in scoring, averaging 21.3 points per game. He was shooting 42.8% from the field and 35.9% from 3. He was first team in the Athletic Sun Conference, and he dropped 43 points in the conference championship game. He's a bucket, plugins. He has a smooth jumper. From the games I've seen, he's at his best being a catch and shooter, and he can create shots for himself. He knows how to get to his spots, and he doesn't do too much with the ball. He can honestly be like an Antonio Reeves type of player for Kentucky. Y'all feel what I'm saying? He was a veteran player for Kentucky, a pure scorer. He was averaging over 20 points per game, and he was a reliable scorer for them. Jalen Blackmon can come in and play the exact same role. Jalen has ties to Kentucky. His father played there, so that could work in Coach Cal's favor in convincing him to transfer there. But they will have some competition because his brother played for Indiana, so they're going to be in the mix. But if it came down between Kentucky and Indiana, I feel like he's going to pick Kentucky. The third player is 6'6" guard BJ Freeman from Milwaukee. He was also one of the top scorers in college last season. He was averaging 21.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and he shot 42.2% from the field and 35% from 3. He's an elite slasher. His biggest strength is getting to the rim. Shots around the rim, he was making over 50%. He can also run an offense. He's a great passer and has good court vision. BJ Freeman will give Kentucky a big physical player at the guard position. Coach Cal said he wants older physical players. He fits what he's looking for. He will also be a solid rebounder for them. Kentucky might be the heavy favorites to get him. He gave an interesting quote saying this: "I'm willing to do whatever to win and put another banner up there at Kentucky." BJ Freeman is considered one of the best players in the transfer portal, and a lot of colleges are showing interest in him. But since he gave that quote about Kentucky, I feel like it's a good chance he ends up there. If Kentucky can't get Jalen Blackmon, they have to get BJ Freeman, so they got to put one of those players as a top priority. It would be nice if they can get both, but I don't see Kentucky getting both those players. The fourth player is Meechie Johnson from South Carolina. He was the team's leading scorer, averaging 14.1 points per game. He averaged 4.1 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and he shot 39% from the field and 32% from 3. He'll be a solid guard for them for experience, leadership, and some toughness. That's where I see him making the biggest impact. He could end up being a starter if they strike out on the other guards in the transfer portal, but overall, I don't see Kentucky making a hard push to get him. The last player is Jordan Ivy Curry. He's a 6'3" guard from UTSA. Last season, he averaged 17.1 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3 assists, and he shot 40% from the field and 38.7% from 3. He's only 175 pounds. He's going to need to bulk up a little, but he's a nice 3-level scorer. It's a lot of colleges that are interested in him. I feel like he won't end up at Kentucky because they'll probably get better guards, but they did reach out to him and showed interest. He could be a nice rotational player for them. So Coach Cal is trying his best to get some solid players from the transfer portal. The college basketball season is not over yet, so I'm sure it's going to be a lot of good players available and will be interested in playing for them. Kentucky needs to focus on getting players that are great on defense. They can't have another season where their defense was as bad as it was last season. They don't really need a big-time scorer. They need an elite defender. If the player so happens to be a bucket, that's just the icing on the cake. I would like to see Kentucky get a player who can guard multiple positions and get at least one big who is an elite rebounder and shot blocker. So we'll see what happens these next few months. Let's see who Coach Cal can get. What player in the transfer portal do y'all want to see play for Kentucky next season? Drop a like on the video and sub to the channel. Turn on post notifications so you know when I post. I got more college basketball videos on the way. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.